Lynn, we have a number of questions that have come in from both Capitol Hill and from a couple of the economic policy think tanks in Washington on the question of the Federal Reserve. And what they all refer to is the fact that while certainly the move to reinstitute a Glass-Steagall framework, coupled with another resolution on which is aimed at controlling the derivatives trade, would certainly fix a lot of what is wrong and put us in a position to proceed with some real economic recovery. But they all raise one very specific question, and that is the question of how to deal with the Federal Reserve. And most specifically, what two individuals, one a magazine editor and the other actually a member of the Senate professional staff that's trying to deal with this, ask the same thing. They say that during the course of the meltdown last year, the Fed basically acquired about, by their estimate, $2.3 trillion in what are called assets, which the Fed would very much like to get rid of. They say the Fed wants to get all of this junk off of its balance sheet and return to a situation in which it has no more than about $1 trillion in such quote-unquote assets. My question to you is, can the Fed unload all of this without crashing Wall Street again?
Why not crash Wall Street? We don't need it. We never needed it. There's a very specific thing that we must do, however. The Federal Reserve System is going to prove to be bankrupt. Geithner has done his job. It's now bankrupt. So what we're going to have to do is, what are we going to do? How are we going to bail out the Federal Reserve System, which is no longer God? What we're going to have to do is absorb the Federal Reserve System into a third national bank of the United States. Hamiltonian National Bank. Get this garbage in there, we'll sort it out there. The key thing is, by cutting and slashing and destroying the mass of fraudulent claims in the name of the US dollar, we free the federal government under a Glass-Steagall standard to utter credit for purposes of productive purposes and to save the nation. Once we have done that, against a British system which is not worth living, it's a species which should have been extinct a long time ago, even before it was created. And we beat that system. We are now going to be in a tough situation, but a manageable one. We can, with our influence, if we do that, we will be able to shape. By the way, one thing I'll comment on this that came up in an earlier discussion here. Why is it, and this is very serious, so that's why I mention it now, why is it that many otherwise disreputable entities of the financial community are now coming over to Glass-Steagall? The very same organizations which should have been deadly opponents of it just a few weeks ago. Why are they coming around? Against what seems to be their bestial instinct. What they're reacting to is the knowledge that the entire system is going down. The world system is going down. And what happened on Thursday is an expression of that. Since they know that, they are faced with a situation which commands them to seem to become respectable. they of all people, the least to be suspected, have now come around because they're fairly well informed. They're informed the British system is coming down. Therefore, they know that they too are going into the graveyard unless they get a safe distance from the collapse of the British system. They know the British system, the European system is coming down, that the Greek bailout process was the trigger which caused the failure of the entire British system, which was coming on then already. So now, anybody in the United States who is not an idiot or an ultimate ignoramus wants to line up as a support for the patriotic factions of the United States against the British Empire. We do not want to die with the British Empire. Therefore, we suddenly become patriots. They, of all people, suddenly become honest men and patriots. Honest John the Patriot. So that's what the issue is. They're joining the cause which they see as the winning cause, and they're being told it's the winning cause. That's what's lining them up. They're on our side. Isn't that an embarrassment for us?